Alright folks, welcome back. This is Balatro everyday, and today, the Joker I like best is Wrathful Joker. This is one of the four what we call Sinful Jokers. These are the ones that reward us for playing a lot of one suit. And so today what we want to be thinking about, what makes this powerful? What kind of synergies exist? If we spend $5 on this little guy, how do we maximize the value? What should we be looking out for? Also, with this being a common Joker, what are the limitations? At what point should we be trying to pivot into something else? If we go to page 1 of the collection here, these are what we call the signpost Jokers. These, all of them being common, these are going to be the ones that show up early on in your runs. These are going to be the ones that show up the most often in your runs. And so, from a game design perspective, let's say you're a new player and I don't know what I should be doing in the game. These can give me an idea what I could be doing in the game, right? So if Crazy Joker is going to reward me for playing straights, maybe I should be looking for other things that also reward me for playing straights. If Crafty Joker is going to reward me for playing flushes, maybe I should be looking for ways to play flushes more easily, play flushes more consistently, right? And what I really like about the Sinful Jokers is they do a similar thing. They sort of tell you, oh, you should be playing flushes, but they tell you in kind of a quiet way, right? I don't have to play a flush in order to get value out of my Wrathful Joker. Obviously, you get the most value if you play 5 spades, but you can play a full house that has 2 spades. You can play a straight that has 3 spades and still get a good amount of value out of this. Now, if I compare Wrathful Joker to Droll Joker here, Droll Joker is going to give me plus 10 mult for any flush. Wrathful Joker is going to give me, if I do play the spades flush specifically, that's going to give me plus 15 mult. And so like comparing these two, you get plus 15 compared to plus 10. And there's a lot of considerations here. The Sinful Jokers, they cost $5 instead of $4. So these are the premium ones, right? These are going to be the powerful ones. Also, it's not just about how much mult per dollar, but it's also about like, you have a limited number of Joker slots, and so you want Jokers that are going to give you a lot of value for that one slot. If I have a Joker that gives me 3 times as much mult, it's maybe even worth more than 3 times as much money because it takes up only the one Joker slot, right? Now, it's pretty easy and consistent. You can play any flush, you can play multiple flushes in a round. Playing specifically a spades flush or any of these other flushes is harder, honestly, right? But it's not that much harder. And so there's this balancing act in the game between, I want not to score the most points every round, but I want to score enough points every round. And I want to be thinking about what is the thing that's going to score me enough points without being too difficult to pull off, right? And so maybe I don't need to be playing the spade flush every round. Maybe I can get away with, like I said, playing a full house that has 2 spades. Maybe I could get away with playing a straight that has 3 spades in it. And so, I think the Sinful Jokers also then, have a lot of versatility. The fail case, if you don't get the flush, you get nothing out of the Droll Joker compared to, the Sinful Jokers, you do get a little benefit. Comparing the Sinful Jokers to each other, Wrathful Joker, that's the one that I like best because it's purple. I think that looks really nice. Maybe as a runner-up here, I like the Glutinous Joker. I think the green is really nice. I think with the high contrast settings on, the blue clubs look really nice. The one that I like least best, Lusty Joker. If we're gonna have a Wrathful Joker, I think we should have a Lustful Joker instead of Lusty. I don't see why it's Lusty. Or if we have a Glutinous Joker, maybe we should have a Lustinous Joker as well. Anyway, what really makes the Sinful Jokers powerful is what I call the order of operations. So if we think about things like enhanced cards, so something you may figure out from experience or you may not know. When you play a hand, all of the card effects on your cards are going to happen first. Then if you have a held in hand effect, maybe you've got a steel card, gives you times 1.5 when you hold this in your hand. That's going to happen next. And then finally, it's going to process all of your Jokers from left to right. That order gets interrupted by things like this. So Wrathful Joker says, all of your spades are going to give molt individually when those cards are scored. So this happens first before anything else. So if you have, you know, things like these enhanced cards, you know, let's say I have a +4 molt card and I have a glass card. What I want is, I want the +4 to happen first, and then I want it to get doubled after. You know, I don't want this to happen. I don't want ×2 first and then +4 after. And so that's kind of the same way with these jokers here. Wrathful Joker will happen first, or, you know, it'll happen, you know, as you play whatever kind of spades. And then if you have a glass card that gives you ×2, the ×2 will happen next. And then your Droll Joker giving you +10 will happen after that, you know, after all of your glass cards, after all of your steel cards. And so for that reason, you know, these jokers and, you know, kind of any joker that gives you like a flat plus molt bonus later on in the run, these will fall off. You know, as you're getting these ×2s from the glass cards, these ×1.5 from the steel cards, these other kind of card enhancements, these sorts of things will fall off. Whereas like these Sinful Jokers, they will survive for longer, they will give you benefit for longer. They're more compatible with, you know, these kind of like late game card enhancements here. Now, this is not free, by the way. Like I said, it is harder to play a spade specific flush compared to playing just any flush, but there is kind of like another price that we pay, you know, for some of these bosses. I forgot where it is, but there's, you know, the goad here says that all of our spades are going to be debuffed. This means that they're going to lose all of their abilities. This is independent of your jokers. And so, you know, if we have Droll Joker will give us the +10 even if our cards are debuffed, whereas like Wrathful Joker will not. If the cards are not scoring, then they're not getting the +3. And so for the higher reward, we do accept a higher risk. And so we want to try to figure out, you know, how to plan around that. Anyway, well, let's jump in here. We've got the Wrathful Joker. I'm playing on the red deck because, you know, why not play on the starter deck? In the first round here, you know, if we're just kind of like dissecting this run and thinking about, you know, what is the optimal play here, I opened the Buffoon pack so that I could get this Wrathful Joker. I have $6 left. Typically what I suggest is you want to save your money until you have $25 in the bank, until you start having interest before you start spending, because, you know, having that passive, just free $5 income every round is very powerful. And so we want to try to get there. You know, definitely Wrathful Joker and the other page 1 jokers, these are the types of things that allow you to do that. If I get just this, just Wrathful Joker, this is enough on its own for me to win the next 4 rounds. Just one shot the next 4 rounds. So I don't have to spend any more money. If you were actually playing this, I think Riffraff here is especially powerful. Just in general, it's very powerful. Early on, it's very powerful. Here, you know, getting random jokers, maybe they're helpful to you. If they're not, you can just sell them. And so the optimal play here, I think, is to pick up Riffraff. But, you know, Riffraff is, at this point, you know, very powerful in the run, you know, perhaps overpowered. So to make sure that we can kind of like highlight, you know, the Wrathful Joker, I'm not going to take this. I'm acknowledging that this is the optimal move here, but it would be overpowered if we did that. So let's just go next. All right, so in the next round here, if I do something like this, you know, this is 2 pair. This is going to be 20 times 2. And kind of like the way that I think about 2 pair, you know, your average-ish 2 pair is going to be, you know, maybe here's 7 plus 7 plus 3 plus 3. On average, your 2 pair is going to be about, let's say, 30 chips on top of 20 is about 50 times 2. So 50 times 2 is about 100, right? Now, if Wrathful Joker gives me +3 for, you know, let's say I have 2 spades, that's going to raise me from 2 to 8, right? That's going to be, you know, 4 times as much. And so with not this 2 pair, but like some 2 pair, you know, it would be like 100 times, or it would be something like 50 times 8, right? So this 2 pair is not going to give me 450, but there does exist 2 pair that would. So, you know, maybe we'll look for it so that we can demonstrate here. Let's go for a higher 2 pair. Or, you know, maybe even a full house here. So maybe I can play this full house with kings and tens. So even though I only have the one spade here, that's enough, right? So here's kind of like a heuristic that I use. If I play like a high straight or a high flush or like a medium full house, all of those three are going to be worth about 300 points. Those are the hands that I use to one-shot the first round here. If we one-shot the first round, if we use less hands, we get more money from having leftover hands. So I am thinking about, okay, how can I win this in just one hand? And if a normal full house is worth about 300 points, or this kind of like high full house is worth about 350 points, then with just a single +3, that's going to be almost twice as much. If I go from ×4 to a ×7, so the difference between 4 and another +3 is, 4 and 7 here, that's going to be about twice as much. So what would normally be like a 350 point hand, that's going to easily clear 450 here. And I don't even have to go for the spade flush. So you kind of just play whatever you're given and you'd be fine. All right, here once again, if Wrathful Joker is rewarding us for playing lots of spades, rewarding us for playing flushes, maybe the thing that I want to do is pick up something like this Droll Joker and then have this kind of compatibility here. Yeah, definitely I think if you were just playing this out, I think this would be the correct move. I would think, oh, okay, here's like a very obvious synergy. Play flushes, play flushes. Play spade flushes, get rewarded for playing flushes. Again, here to sort of continue demonstrating the power of Wrathful Joker just kind of on its own. I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip the Droll Joker, but I am acknowledging that this is the correct pick. I think also Hallucination is a great pick. And so if I want to maximize the value of Wrathful Joker, some things that I'm looking for are tarot cards. And so what I want are things like, obviously making more spades, then I'm going to be able to use my Wrathful Joker more consistently if I have more spades. Wild cards from lovers can also help with that, giving me not spades, but more, counts as spades, whatever card that I turn into wild. I could be thinking about death cards. I can pick out a card that's already spades and make a copy of it. Death is especially powerful if you're copying card enhancements. If Wrathful Joker is giving me plus molt to my cards, I could look for Hierophant to give me plus chips to sort of complement that, sort of balance out molt and chips. Mostly I'm looking for things like glass cards and steel cards. So after getting all the plus bonuses from the Wrathful Joker, you get these times bonuses after that. That's like particularly powerful. So like in general, there's like a lot of tarot cards that are useful to me, tarot cards that I'm looking for. And so, Hallucination as a way of generating tarot cards is very powerful, very useful with the Wrathful Joker. So we'll pick that up. I think just in general, the tarot cards have a lot of value, and so Hallucination is good for, other reasons as well, even without Wrathful Joker. Once again, we're going to pass on Droll Joker here. I do think it's, probably the correct thing to pick up the Droll Joker, but we don't need it. So we'll keep holding the rest of our money for interest. Alright, the boss here gives us -1 hand size. We see in the opening hand here we don't have any spades at all. And so, okay, how can we do this? If we play a straight that has 2 spades in it, then what could be like a 300 point straight or like a 280 point straight with 3 spades, or sorry, with just 2 spades, taking this up to ×10, from ×4 to ×10, that's more than twice as much, right? The difference between 4 and 10 is more than twice as much. It'll score more than twice as many points. So any straight that has at least 2 spades, that's going to be a winning hand. Any full house that has more than 2 spades, or I guess if it's a full house, it's only going to have 2 spades. Any full house that has 2 spades, that's going to be a winning hand. Of course, if we go for all spades, that's going to be a winning hand. Let's go for, let's say I wasn't going to go for all spades. I think going for all spades is obviously the easy thing to do, but since we don't have any spades here, what happens if we didn't, right? So maybe let's keep the king and the queen here and go for a high straight. We pick up an ace here. maybe looking for, okay, I've got 8s and 4s. I still have a 4 of spades in the deck. If I do want to try the full house, I am going to need the, 4 of spades specifically, so maybe I don't want those. But maybe what I can do, let's keep going for the high straight here. There we go. So ace, king, queen, jack, 10 here. If we look at this, we've drawn only 4 spades so far. With using our 3 discards here, we've only drawn 4 spades, and so we wouldn't have been able to get the spades flush if that's the thing that we're going for. But playing the straight with the 2 spades, that's already going to be a winning hand. Alright, and then if we are playing on the white stake here, the next round is 800 points. So 800 points, we could play the same hand. We can play the high straight that has any 2 spades. You don't even need 3 spades, but any 2 spades with a high straight would be enough points. I don't have to buy Wily Joker here. I don't have to buy Steven here. So I won't. We'll just keep saving our money for interest. Here I've got almost a diamonds flush. Since we are playing on the red deck gives us an extra discard. If I wanted to go for spades, I could. So maybe, we almost have the high straight here. Maybe we're just looking for a 10, maybe a 10 of spades. We could do that. I think it's easy enough, since we do have the extra discard, it's easy enough for us to find 5 spades. Even if we don't have any spades in our opening hand. So that's what it looks like after using 3 discards. Now we can use the extra discard here. I could go for a 5 to make the ace 2, 3, 4, 5 straight, but that's not going to be 800 points, and I am trying to win in 1. So we end up getting, here the flush that we were looking for, and then this will definitely be enough points. Let's say we didn't draw the flush right away, then, we would need to dig for another spade here. So, let's say you didn't get the hand that you were going for. I said, it's pretty easy to play any flush, but it might be hard-ish to play a specific flush. And if you're playing on the higher stakes where you have the -1 discard, if you're not playing on the red deck where you have the extra discard, you could have trouble finding the spades. And so that is the extra risk that you take when you're playing with Wrathful Joker or the other Sinful Jokers. So let's say we didn't get the spades right away, then we would have to play another hand, and then we could dig for the missing spade, right? And so the difference there is, I could have, in the beginning, there was a flush that I could have gone for, there was a straight that I could have gone for. It wouldn't have had many spades, but it could have had 1 spade in the straight, or it could have been a flush that had no spades. And then maybe what I do is I try to win with 2 hands, right? I play 1 flush of diamonds, and then separately play a full house that has 2 spades, or separately play the straight that has 1 spade. And that combination of 2 hands could be a winning hand. Or I can use a hand as a discard as a way of finding my missing spades. And so it works out kind of the same way. You play 2 hands. And then you have also 2 hands left over. Okay, so if we do get the spades flush there with kind of high-ish cards, we demonstrate we get 1600 points. So in the next round here, 1200. As long as I get the spades, I win here. I might not need all of the spades. A straight with 3 spades would also be enough. And then for the boss here, in order to get 1600, if I do get the spades flush, that's enough. And so with just the one, with just the Wrathful Joker or any of the other Sinful Jokers, the first 6 rounds of the game, you can just one-shot with a spades flush or whatever it is, flush. And I don't need anything else. So, let's say, Vampire is obviously very powerful, giving you a X bonus, multiplicative bonus. Also, this is holographic, giving us a flat +10. So, let's say you didn't see something like this. Let's say you didn't get this. Let's say you're playing on the higher stakes and you've got rental jokers or perishable jokers, jokers that you can't afford in the shop. We would just skip here and we would be completely fine with just Wrathful Joker. I should check on what the boss is. The boss says playing hands, you have face down cards. That's fine. So let's say I didn't have this. Let's say I didn't have the vampire. What would I be wanting to spend my money on? Do we buy the celestial pack or do we buy the buffoon pack? Do we possibly want to level up 2 pair? So, you know, like the obvious thing is, oh, if I'm playing lots of spades, maybe I'm going to be playing lots of flushes. And then maybe, okay, I don't level up my 2 pair if I'm just going to be playing flushes. And so this is like what I mean by this Wrathful Joker, this being like a signpost. So if I'm a new player and I don't know, you know, what I should be doing, this tells me, oh, I probably don't need this. Probably I just keep playing spades. Now, between these 2 booster packs, I think with the Celestial pack, what you're looking for the Jupiter cards, right? And, you know, I think the planet cards are very powerful in the sense that, you know, they give you scoring bonuses, they give you mult, and they give you chips without using up a Joker slot. Joker slots are premium. You only have 5 Joker slots. And so being able to find ways of improving your score without using up your Joker slots, like that's huge. And then so maybe what we want here is we want this Celestial pack. I think for flushes specifically, if I'm playing Wrathful Joker, if I'm trying to play flushes, the Jupiter cards don't give you as much benefit as some other hands that we could be playing. So like, sorry, if we go to, you know, straights are going to give you more mult and more chips per Saturn card compared to Jupiter. So like that's a lot more, you know, if I were playing full houses, it's not that much different from Jupiter cards here, not that much different from flushes, though, you know, maybe the chips matter. Maybe the chips add up here. 4 of a kind, straight flushes, though, you know, maybe we don't know that we can play straight flushes yet. Playing straight flushes is kind of hard, maybe. And playing like specifically spades straight flush, like that's kind of hard. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, even if we do get the planet that we're looking for, the Jupiter card is not the best one. And so maybe the thing that's going to give us better value is opening buffoon packs. And so, you know, in the end game, what you're looking for is you're looking for maybe like powerful Jokers like this, the vampire, the Jokers that give you the X mult. And the way that you find those is by just seeing more Jokers. In your run, if you go through more shops and go through more buffoon packs and you just see more Jokers, then eventually it'll be more likely that you find the thing that you're looking for. And so if that's the thing, if you're having trouble finding the stuff that you're looking for, you need to be seeing more shops. You need to be seeing more buffoon packs in order for you to find the stuff that you're looking for, so that you can beat kind of like that bad RNG. So let's try the buffoon pack here. All right, buffoon pack gives us Crazy Joker, which says we want to be playing straights. Splash says every card played is going to score, and so for something like this, Wrathful Joker, this could be useful. And so what this allows me to do is, you know, if I wanted to play these hands that don't have 5 cards, if I wanted to play high card, or if I wanted to play pair here, you know, maybe I want to play pairs. What I can do is I can play a pair and then add 3 random spades to it, right? And then I can get some value out of Wrathful Joker. There is some synergy there between these. I think probably I don't want Splash. Currently I don't have any other incentive to be playing pairs or high card, and so I'm going to take Crazy Joker instead. And if you want, you know, you could just sell it, you could just pick up the money here, but I don't think it's necessarily bad for us to have this Crazy Joker. Like I said before, you know, I don't have to play flushes. I don't have any, you know, leveled up flushes. I don't have any Jupiter cards. I could just play a straight that has a few spades in it. Maybe that's easier. Maybe having both of these allows me to sort of like be open-ended. And so going into a round, maybe I don't get to be as picky about what cards I draw and what cards that I play. You know, we saw earlier when I was trying to draw the spades for the flush, it was challenging. Even with the extra discard of having the red deck, you know, maybe we don't get the spades. And maybe then this gives me the option I can play a straight instead. All right, now I have $25 in the bank. $25 is going to give us the maximum amount of interest of $5 per round. Do I want to buy this Celestial pack? If I do, I'm going to go down to $21 here, and I'm going to lose $1 of interest. I think it's worth it. I think celestial packs maybe are worth about $6. So like $4 is what it costs. $4 is what you pay, but that's not necessarily how much it's worth. And to me, it's worth more than $4. So it's worth it to me to buy this. Also, because we have hallucination, we have a chance of getting a tarot card. Tarot cards are of course great with the Wrathful Joker. So let's buy the celestial pack here. Even if we don't get the value from the hallucination, it's still worth it. Even if we don't get the planet card that we're looking for here, it's still worth it to open the celestial packs. So just like I said about, trying to find the jokers that you're looking for, the way that you find the planet cards that you're looking for, you just open more packs and then you'll find it eventually. With this having 3 different planets and with there being 9 total hands, about a third of the time you'll get the planet card that you're looking for, which is not 100%, but it's good enough, right? Now, do I want to take, we can level up full houses here, or we can level up straight flushes. I think between the two of these, if I want to stick with Wrathful Joker, if I'm committing like this is the thing that I want to do for the whole run, maybe I could level up straight flushes for later. When am I going to start playing straight flushes? Probably not until ante 6 or 7. So if I am picking this up, I'm basically saying that this is only for the future. Whereas like if I take the Earth card here, full house, that's something that I can do right now. And I can play a full house that has some spades in it. So let's do that. And like I said here, vampire, of course, very powerful. I'm going to skip the vampire here, just for demonstration purposes, for education purposes. Let's assume we didn't get the overpowered thing. If we just go next, how would we try to play this out? I can go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, if I line that up correctly, that looks like a straight here. I could play the 7. So here's, the straight with the 3 spades, like I said, is, not too hard to play 3 spades. What happens if we just play 2 spades? So I'm not getting the maximum value from my Wrathful Joker, but I am getting this plus 12 from the Crazy Joker. So in total, 12 and then another plus 6 is, plus 18 molt. If I play that straight that's worth about 250 points. Then the difference between, times 4 and then another 18 on top of that, the difference between 4 and 22, that's like 5 times. So 5 times 250 is about 1500 here, slightly less than 1500 here. So for this boss, I know a straight that has 2 spades is not going to work. A straight that has 3 spades is going to work. A flush that has 5 spades is also going to work. So those are like kind of my possibilities here for the boss. All right, we could pick up a Madness Joker here. I'm not going to pick this up because this is going to delete my jokers and I want to stick with the Wrathful Joker. I probably want this. So lovers, give me extra spades. So that seems fine. Maybe before I open this up, or sorry, before I take this, I can open up these Arcana packs. Arcana pack, with hallucination, giving me a chance to get an extra tarot card. I think also in general, so if I buy this Arcana pack, takes me down to $26 here. $26, I still have enough money in the bank for me to make interest here. If I am going for flushes, Arcana packs are very powerful. And so, here's kind of like how I rank the booster packs. The ranking of the booster packs depends on what build you're going for. If I'm going for flushes, probably Buffoon packs number 1, what I'm looking for, Arcana packs number 2, and then Celestial packs number 3, and then Standard packs last. Not entirely useless, but not the most useful, and that's okay. So let's try Arcana packs here. So I'm looking for the world to make more spades. I'm looking for card enhancements. So I could be looking for, here's a gold card for some money. Doesn't help me score, but gives me more money. I could be looking at lucky cards. I think are very good value. I don't have any spades here, so whatever kind of enhanced cards that I make are not going to be spades. If I were just, kind of generically playing for flushes, maybe that doesn't bother me. I think what I want to do here is let's remove the non-spades. Let's use the hangman to remove the non-spades, and then that way it's easier for us to draw spades. What cards do we want to remove? I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove these. I'm going to remove an ace and a king here. So this, if I am going for straights, what you want to do is remove either the low cards or the high cards. Just pick one. Delete all the low cards and then play high straights. Delete all the high cards and then play low straights. Like, that's a thing that we can do. Probably what we're going to end up doing, if I am going for flushes eventually, Crazy Joker is probably going to get replaced in like a couple of rounds as soon as I start doing, my flushes more consistently. So maybe I don't have to worry so much about trying to play straights. Maybe something that I could be thinking about instead, if I am going to be playing flushes, most of the time I'm going to be trying to play the spade flushes, but maybe, once I start leveling up my flushes, once I start getting more Jupiter cards, maybe I just like play flushes in general. And so if I am just going to be playing flushes in general, removing two of the same suit then makes it easier for me to get other flushes. Like if I remove the diamonds, it makes it easier for me to get my spades, but also makes it easier for me to get hearts and clubs, rather than like removing one hearts and one clubs here. Ultimately, it probably doesn't matter, but these like tiny optimizations, these like tiny decisions, if you make enough of these correct choices, good choices, they can add up and they can overcome, unlucky scenarios in the future. If you feel yourself unlucky, oh, I never draw the cards that I'm looking for when I want them, then, making these intelligent, deck building decisions can help prevent that, or help mitigate that. Like, it's never going to be 0% that you or it's never going to be 100% that you draw the stuff that you're looking for, but you can improve your chances with the deck building here. And so maybe what we'll do is remove 2 diamonds here, as opposed to, taking the money. Now, we have a chance at another Arcana pack here. Again, it's going to take us down to $20, so we're not going to get the maximum amount of interest in the next round. I'm actually fine with that. And so, like I said, just because this costs $6 doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it's worth. It could potentially be worth more than that, even though it only costs $6. And so I do think of Arcana packs, if I'm playing flushes, as being like especially worthwhile. Also, when you're shopping, if I want to see more jokers, I could just re-roll and I can see more jokers. The booster packs do not refresh. I can't. Well, within the context of one shop. If I go to a next shop, another shop, I'm going to see more booster packs. I want to try to open as many booster packs as possible. Hermit is of course great. We could pick up 20 bucks here, and that's going to, help us get this run off the ground here. I think what I want to do, since I already removed some diamonds, maybe we can continue removing diamonds here with the hangman. I don't want to make more diamonds. I don't want to make more hearts here. I could make some bonus cards, make these spades into bonus cards. So here's kind of where my head is at. I'm thinking, rather than go for the higher scoring with the bonus cards, I would rather go for the more consistency by removing the diamonds here with the hangman. That's just my personal style, because the way that you lose, like I said, is by not drawing the cards, right? I don't need to like make my flushes more powerful. I'm already scoring enough points. I just want to make sure I get my spades, and then I will definitely score enough points. So I'm going to go ahead and use the hangman here on the diamonds, removing now 4 diamonds gone. We can very easily play these other kind of flushes here, though maybe makes it a little bit more difficult for me to play straights if that's something that I wanted to do. I think Hermit here is, of course, very powerful this early on to pick up 20 bucks. So for, kind of educational purposes, let's see what happens if we didn't get the Hermit. What would we do? Maybe we got some other enhancement that or some other tarot card, we would just sell it. Do I want this Lover's card now? So now, after opening these Arcana packs, now having 4 cards removed from the deck, I think I don't need this anymore. I think it can pretty easily make my spades. And so I'm going to pass on the wild card here. And so, you know, that could be also, you know, with these Arcana packs, open them first. And then that way I get information. And then with that information, now I can decide whether or not I want to buy these things. And the answer is, I don't need to buy these things anymore. Let's go next. Saving our money for interest. All right, we know as long as we get the spades, we win. So let's go for the spades. We could consider, you know, we have a straight here with 2 spades. A straight with 2 spades doesn't win in one hand. If we get a straight that has a 3rd spade, we could possibly win. But it's easy enough. I'm just going to go for the spades. So with just 2 discards, there it is. We have the spades already. We have some high spades, so this is going to be a winning hand. If we were playing on the higher stakes here, you know, with -1 discard, if we weren't playing on the red deck, if we had 1 less discard, we would still have the spades here very easily. Wait, not quite enough points. Yeah, that makes sense. There was one where, what was it? It was like 15 something, or it was like 14 something. I forgot that it was not quite 1600. So now that I have all these face down cards, you know, one thing that's like nice if you're playing flushes versus like one of these face down bosses, if you sort by suit, now this tells me all of these are spades. And so, you know, sort of like of the different suits, spades have this advantage of, I don't have to muck around in the middle here, you know, trying to decide, are these diamonds, are these, you know, hearts or clubs? All of these on the left, I just know that they're spades. And so maybe that could be a reason to go for spades. Now, the question is, do I have enough spades in the deck that I could probably get 1 more of these spades? If I don't, is there something else that I could be doing instead? I'm gonna go for the spades here. Okay. And I happen to know if I play this 2 pair that just has the 1 spades here, we said before, you know, 2 pair already is worth about 100 points. It's about 50 times 2. And then if I have, you know, +3 mult, that's gonna be more than twice as much. That's gonna be more than 200. 240 there. Okay, obviously the thing that we're looking for here, the world card. So we've gone through a couple of Arcana packs so far. We've looked at some tarot cards so far, and we finally get the one that gives us spades. So we'll pick that up. A thing that you can do with this is you can hold on to it until you need it. And so like in the next round here, I don't have to use it right away. I can save it for a couple rounds. Though something to keep in mind, you know, in the game there aren't any duplicate cards. You can't get duplicate tarot cards. So as long as I'm holding on to this, I'm not going to see the world anymore in any booster packs. And so maybe that's like a disadvantage to waiting too long. So I want to try to use this right away. That way I can find another world more easily in the future. Between these 2 booster packs, I said, you know, here we're kind of light on jokers. So maybe we'll open the buffoon pack. Hallucination gives us a chariot. Okay, so here, you know what I said at the beginning with the Wrathful Joker giving us the plus mult when the cards are scored. This steal card is going to happen before, you know, this Crazy Joker happens. And so that is part of why, you know, Crazy Joker, or, you know, this type of Joker, this plus mult Joker gets phased out later on, whereas like Wrathful Joker is always valid. And so, you know, if I'm thinking about, you know, between these 2 things here, I think red card is fine. It's a common Joker, so it's going to give you like a common Joker level of value, right? Which common Jokers, okay, maybe are not all that great. Except Wrathful Joker I really do like it. I really do think it's strong here. I think the stronger pick here is going to be Smiley Face. And so what we can do with this, Smiley Face has the same strength that the Wrathful Joker does, where this is going to give me +5 mult when the face cards are scored. And so now this is telling me, in the future, if I'm playing flushes, I want to open a lot of Arcana packs. Opening Arcana packs is going to give me death cards. What cards do I want to use the death on? I want to use it on my face cards that are spades. What do I want to use my world on? I want to use the world on face cards. Okay. So now we have a strong direction. Now probably we don't need the Crazy Joker. Now just these two are going to be enough. Do I want this standard pack? This one, if we're going for flushes, this is going to be lower in the pick order. So I don't need standard packs as much. I'm just going to go next. In general, with standard packs, adding cards to the deck makes it harder for you to find the cards that are useful to you, harder for me to find my spades. If I do open the standard pack and I do find spades, then I can add spades to the deck, but that's going to make it harder for me to find my enhanced cards, maybe my steel card, for example. But there are very powerful cards that you can get from the standard packs, and so they are worth it to open when you have the money for it. If your money is tight, if you have limited if you have limited resources, then pick the thing that's going to give you the highest expected value. Focus on the Arcana packs first, Buffoon packs first. Alright, so here what I'm looking for, I'm trying to draw my face cards. So here I've got these queens. Let's discard looking for more face cards. We have 3 queens here that I can turn all of those into spades. I also have some 6s here. I think let's do that. Let's go ahead and hit all 3 of these queens. And if I want to make a steel card, what is the card that we should turn into steel? And so this is the suggestion that I give to new players. Pick a card that you never discard. And so you might be thinking, oh, okay, if I want to play my spades, then the cards that I don't play, this rewards me for holding the card in hand. The card that I don't play are my non-spades. Maybe I should turn this ace into steel. Now the problem with that is, if I draw this ace and I want to use the steel card, if I want to use the steel effect, now I have to hold on to this ace while I'm discarding and while I'm drawing, my spades. The problem with that is, if I'm holding on to this, I'm basically playing with -1 hand size. And it's going to be that much harder for me to dig and then find whatever cards that I'm looking for. Let's say I didn't have these spades, I only had the queens and I need to find more spades. If I'm holding on to this ace, I'm only able to discard 4 at a time, I'm only able to draw 4 at a time. Or, let's say I was missing 1 spade, I'm only able to draw 3 at a time. And then so it makes it that much harder to find what you're looking for. So with the steel cards, what I suggest is, let's put it on this queen. And so I know, yes, of course the queens, those are the ones that I'm trying to play the queens because they're face cards, because they're spades. But when I draw this steel card, when I draw this queen, I never discard this. I always hold on to this. This will always be in my hand. Sometimes I will be forced to play it if I don't draw my other spades. If I do draw my other spades, then I can hold on to it, and then I'm rewarded for holding on to it. So, maybe now we can discard. Now I get these other perfectly serviceable face cards instead. And now I don't have to play the steel card. Remember, we want to set up scenarios where we don't necessarily need to score the most points every round. We just have to score enough points every round. We just have to make sure we find enough of what we're looking for. And so having the steel queen, that's going to make it, or ensure that I always find what I'm looking for. All right. Seltzer has really good synergy with Smiley Face and also Wrathful Joker. So remember, Wrathful Joker is giving us plus mult when the card is scored. If this re-triggers our cards, that means that +3 is going to happen again. That means the +5 from Smiley Face is going to happen again. So this is like particularly synergistic with what we got going on, and like in general these re-trigger effects are synergistic with Wrathful Joker, also synergistic with other card enhancements. If I'm Going for flushes, I want to open a lot of Arcana packs. If I open a lot of Arcana packs, I'm going to get a lot of card enhancements. If I have a lot of card enhancements, those things are going to be compatible with Seltzer. So I think we do pick this up. And then we can ask this question, you know, is 8-ball something that I want? You know, giving me tarot cards when I play 8s. You know, if I'm trying to play spades, I only have the 1 8 of spades. So, you know, this is not going to happen very much. And, you know, it's a 1 in 4 chance. That's not going to happen very much. But maybe, you know, as kind of like a longer term plan, maybe this is something that I could build into, though it's a little bit incompatible with trying to go for the face cards. So I think at this point you have to decide, am I going for 8s or am I going for face cards? And I think here I'm going to go for face cards since I already have those extra queens of spades. Though, you know, I don't necessarily think it's wrong to go for 8s. It could work out. It's just much more risky. So we'll take the lower risk thing and just stick with what we got. We could sell Crazy Joker here, and then we could pick up the 8-ball now. And then that way, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, I could always just sell the 8-ball later. I think what I'd rather do with this money is buy these standard packs since we have the money, since we can afford it here. So let's try a standard pack. All right, so we have an option for a Steel 4. Number 1, it's spades, which is good. And then number 2, it's also steel, which is good. Good, you know, compatible with Wrathful Joker here. So let's say this wasn't steel. Let's say the only option was, do we add a spade to our deck or not? A random spade, a spade that's not a face card? For me, the answer is probably no. And so in my deck, I don't necessarily need a lot of spades. I just need enough spades. And I already have enough spades. And I also have some good spades. And so if I add one more spade to the deck, it's going to be easier for me to find spades, but it's going to be harder for me to find the good spades. And so adding just random spades to the deck, probably not. But adding a steel card to the deck, probably yes. You know, I'm using Smiley Face right now to go for spades, but maybe we don't use Smiley Face forever. Maybe this is something that, you know, as a common joker, maybe this is something that gets replaced later on in the run. And so maybe it's worth it to have the extra steel cards. Now, do we want another standard pack? So it costs $4 here, plus we get the extra possibility we could get a tarot card from the Hallucination, which is like good value. This is going to take us down to 24, you know, below $25 for maximum interest. If we sell the star here, now it takes us to 25. Question is like, is this worth it? And I'm gonna say no, and here's why. So if we buy the standard pack and it takes us down to $25 here, so technically we don't lose any interest, right? We still get the maximum amount of interest, but in the next shop, I'm gonna wanna buy a joker. I have an empty joker slot, I wanna buy a joker. In the next shop, there's other booster packs, I'm gonna wanna buy those. There's, you know, maybe this voucher, I'm gonna wanna buy that in the next shop. And so currently, as far as like my jokers are concerned, I don't have any way of making money. The only way that I have of making money is interest, and then also having leftover hands here. And so in the next shop, if I'm spending $10 on booster packs and I'm spending $4 to $6 on a joker, I'm spending more money than I'm earning. So if I want to like ensure that I have interest for future rounds, I'm not going to buy this standard pack and go next. Alright, so what we're trying to do here is just play any hand that's a flush of spades. So now that we have only 49 cards in the deck and 17 of them are spades, now I know I get spades every time. We just go for it every time. Also, I don't need to keep this 2 of spades. I can try to go for better spades. I could try to go for the you know, face cards in spades. If you're playing on the higher stakes where you have -1 discard, then maybe you keep the 2 here. But since we're playing, you know, since we have the extra discard, since we're playing on the red deck, we have an extra discard, then it's fine to throw away the spades, because we got plenty more in the deck anyway. Here's already a winning hand, flush, If we've got the spades, we've got the face cards, we've got the retrigger with the seltzer here. I could just play this. Okay, so 7,000 points. That is enough to win this round. That is enough to win like the next round after that as well. All right, we have an option for Supernova. Supernova is going to give us, you know, if I'm playing flushes, this is going to give me +4 right now. This is going to give me +5 and then +6. You know, it adds however many times that you've played that hand. And so I think right now this is not something that I want. The question is like, is this something that I'm going to want later when I start playing more and more flushes? Currently, we're winning every round with just one flush, though maybe later on when the scoring requirements are more difficult, we'll play 2 flushes every round or something like that. And if I'm going up, you know, +2 molt per round on the Supernova, this will get outpaced by once we have these steel cards, once we have other kind of card enhancements. So this, I think, is not good right now because it's small, and I think it's going to be not good later. It's going to fall off once we, you know, get our more card enhancements. And so for a common joker, that's fine, right? You know, that's the same as if this were a droll joker giving us +10. For a common joker, I don't need this. What I want instead, I want to prioritize Arcana packs. We get the option for death, or we can make a glass card. And I think here, if I make a glass card, obviously it's going to be very powerful, especially powerful with Wrathful Joker, especially powerful with the Seltzer giving us a retrigger on our glass card. It does have a chance to break. Not necessarily a high chance to break, but it does have a chance. And so I'm not, at this point, I'm not ready to take that chance. Something that I like to do is take glass cards early and then just discard them and just hold on to them until the end game, because they are really important for scoring in the end game. They can help protect you against, oh, I didn't get any good jokers, but it's okay, I don't need jokers because I have a bunch of glass cards instead. And so I do like to take glass cards early. Here, I think I'm not going to take this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the death card for more consistency, making more face cards here since I have the smiley face. So I want to make an extra jack. The question is, you know, what do we get rid of? And I think since we already removed some diamonds, let's make another jack of diamonds here. Or sorry, make diamonds into a jack of spades. We have extra money here because in the previous shop we decided to save our money so we could buy the Celestial pack as well. Celestial pack doesn't give me Jupiter. Hallucination doesn't give me a tarot card, although that's completely fine. I think between the 3 of these, I would rather go for Earth card for full houses. We do have already level 2 full houses. Now we can go to level 3. What I'm thinking about is which of these hands has the most spades in it. And I think a full house is going to have more spades than a 3-card hand, right? Which of these has the most face cards in it? I think a full house is going to have more cards, and so more face cards compared to 3 of a kind. Also, you know, it's not unreasonable. We could play a full house that has like 3 queens of spades and like 2 8s or something like that, right? We don't have to play a flush. If we just draw the queens of spades, we could play full houses, it seems like. Now, do I want this blank voucher? It's going to take me down to $23. I think, you know, there are 16 vouchers, and then there are 16, you know, upgraded vouchers that are also possible. And so if I pick this up, then, I don't know, the odds of me getting the upgraded version of this, the antimatter. The antimatter gives me, what is it? An extra joker slot. This is obviously very powerful. I think if we're only playing 8 antis, you know, then the odds of me seeing this upgrade in the next 5 shops, not very good odds. So I think we don't take this. If we had the money, if I could buy this and stay above $25 here, if it didn't cost me interest, then I would take it. I think the payoff is good enough and the chance is good enough. You know, it's not a high chance, but it's, you know, a good enough chance maybe like a 1 in 3 chance we see the antimatter in the future. I just don't think it's worth the money. I don't think we're going to need an extra Joker slot, so let's go next. We could re-roll here. Re-rolling takes us down to $28. If I go down to $28, if there is something that I want, that's going to take me below 25, which I don't want to go below 25. Boss says some cards are going to be face down. We can survive that. Let's go next. Alright, so we know if we get the spades flush with 3 face cards, or was it 2 face cards? I think 2 face cards is 6,000 points. So we can sort by suit here. We know this is spades. Actually, probably it's a face card. Let's find our spades. Okay, so we have a spades flush. This is probably a face card. It could be an ace here. If we wanted to, we could discard for our steel cards. We don't need to. This is already a winning hand. You know, here I can play these. Maybe what I'll do, so I already know this is a winning hand. I'm going to discard these 3 and try to find, I was going to try to find more queens. Almost a straight flush. So when we get more face cards, of course we're going to get more value, more mult. Here's something to consider. When you are going for flushes, you should consider, it is possible, it is often the case that flushes don't scale very well. What I mean by that is, you know, if we look at the planet cards here, we said Jupiter cards, you don't get that much per Jupiter card, plus 15 chips, plus 2 mult, compared to something like a straight flush, giving us twice as much mult, you know, almost 3 times as much chips. So if it's twice as much mult and 3 times as much chips, that's 6 times as many points. Straight flush worth 6 times as much compared to a flush. And so in the end game, instead of playing, you know, 6 flushes, which you can't do because you only have 4 hands, we just play 1 straight flush. If we have, you know, the ability to do that. Or something that's like not that hard to do is play a flush house. The same scaling numbers as the straight flush here, so it's the plus 4 mult, plus 40 chips. And so when I do play flushes, I'm thinking about, can I get to a point of being able to play flush houses? Because flush houses are going to be worth way more points and make it way easier to win in the end game. And so here, with all of these queens that we made, with just the 1 world card, we were able to make 3 extra queens of spades. I could play a flush house with queens and jacks. I could play a flush house with queens and 4s. Now with these planet cards, with the series cards, you can't find series until after you've already played the hand, until after you've already unlocked the hand. And so, you know, you need to play the flush house early so that you can unlock series, so that you can start to see this in the shop. And then after you've already unlocked the hand, then you don't have to play it every time. You just play it the 1 time so that you get it unlocked. And then later on, when your deck is more consistent, once you have more tarot cards and deck manipulation later on, then you can play the hand more, you know, in the end game. So maybe that's what I'm looking to do. In the next round, instead of just stopping when we get the flush, like we know the flush wins already, let's try to keep digging until we find the flush house. In the next round, we need 5,000 points, 7,000 points. Both of these we can already do with our current level of technology. Here we don't have to buy anything new, but there could be some things that we're looking for. First, extra hand size. That's going to make us more consistent, more easier for us to find our spades, easier for us to hold on to our steel cards. If I get the extra hand size when I open the Arcana pack, I have, you know, more cards here. Glass cards are great. We have a death card here, so if I wanted to, I could make a card glass and then I could copy it. So here's what I'm thinking. I do want glass cards. The question is, like, what do I want to be glass? I think what I want is glass cards I'm not going to play until the end game. right? I'm going to try to avoid playing them. So maybe what I'll do is I'll make this 10 into glass. And then in the future, maybe I can use a strength card and this 10 can become a jack. Or maybe I just play it as a 10. With this death card, do I want a second glass card? You know, that's going to be very high scoring. If I have 2 glass cards, I don't have to wait until the end game. I can play 1 glass card in the mid game. And then maybe it breaks, maybe it doesn't. If I have 2 of them anyway, I don't feel bad about them breaking. I think what's going to be like higher upside for us, I think I'd rather make an extra queen. And if I'm going to make an extra queen, I can make an extra steel queen. And then now I don't care as much what I get rid of between these hearts and clubs here. Now that I have enough spades, I don't really care about any other suit. Maybe we could think about what kind of rank we want to go for. I would like to keep my 4s. You know, turn 4s into 4s of spades. I'd like to turn jacks into jacks of spades. But like, you know, between these 8, 2, and 6, I don't really matter that much. Maybe we'll get rid of the 2 because it's the low one. And we've already removed some 2s. Alright, the Celestial pack here, if we buy it, we're going to have $28 in the bank, so we're still making maximum interest. Still no Jupiter card is kind of disappointing, but maybe now, if I am going for flushes and I am opening a lot of, you know, Arcana packs, and I am getting, you know, potentially a lot of death cards or some strength cards, maybe 4 of a kind is not out of the question. We do have 5 queens now. So that's something to think about. Something to think about is like, spades, flushes are currently what I'm doing, and maybe flush houses is what I'm trying to be doing in the future. But you know, what is kind of like the next best thing? What is like the next adjacent hand, possibly? Now, do I want Banner or do I want Scholar here? You know, as far as aces go, I only have the 1 ace of spades, so that's probably not synergistic with my Wrathful Joker. Something that could be kind of important, you know, if Wrathful and Smiley are giving us a lot of mult, typically then I'm looking for some source of chips. And for me, the easiest source of chips are going to be the planet cards, give us a lot of chips. But if I'm not getting the planet cards, if I don't have the flushes leveled up, I don't have the Jupiter cards, maybe I could pick up Banner as a source of chips. And I think now in Ante 4, that is something that I want to be doing here. 5,000, 7,000, I can do those, but you know, this boss here, 20,000, that seems tough, right? Also, we're playing on the red deck with an extra discard, so like that's useful as well. Let's discard looking for more spades. One more time for spades. Okay, so this is a winning hand if I play the flush here, play the spades. Knowing that, I'm actually not going to play it right away. Maybe, like I said, we want to go for the flush house, that way we can get it unlocked. If we do go for the flush house, like what would we do? We would discard the 3 here, and then try to draw the queen. We would discard a 6 here. And then, you know, the fail case is we draw more spades. We only have 30 cards on the deck, half of them are spades, so we can discard spades kind of safely here. We do get the 10 here, that's unfortunate. The 10 is not what I want. We said the glass card, we're going to save that for later. So I didn't get any of my queens, but that's okay. The steel card is going to help a lot. So this times 1.5, if I didn't have Wrathful Joker, if I didn't have Smiley Face, if I just had like some plus mult up here from, you know, maybe Droll Joker gives me plus 10 mult, this would be times 1.5 on this base of 4. So 4 times 1.5 is only plus 2, is like really, really terrible. But Wrathful Joker is going to raise my base mult here before the steel takes effect. And so that brings us to, you know, like 40. And then the steel card is another plus 20 on top of that. Alright, is this something that I want? Do I want a family for a ×4 mult here? Would be difficult to do. I could play, you know, my 4 spades, 4 queens of spades, but maybe this is not the thing that we want to be doing if we're playing flushes. We could consider this something driver's license. 16 enhanced. We're nowhere close to 16 enhanced cards, but we could think about, how quickly can I get to 16 enhanced cards? The answer is, for me right now, not very quickly, which is okay. You know, if we had a better tarot generator, we could get more enhanced cards more easily, but with just hallucination and no other kind of money or value generator, then this is not going to happen. That's okay. We already know we have enough to, you know, sort of score enough points. These couple rounds here, we buy the Arcana packs. All right, Fool for a Mars card. That's 4 of a kind planet card is not what we want to be doing. I could take an Emperor here for random tarot cards. We do get 2 tarot cards, or we could take the planet cards. So if we do get the random planet cards, the one that we're looking for is probably Jupiter, right? I think the Emperor is going to have better expected value for us, and so kind of this decision between, I said, like, do I want Arcana packs or Celestial packs? If I'm going for flushes, I want to prioritize Arcana packs. If I'm going, so between the 2 of these, Emperor for tarot cards instead of Priestess for planet cards for this particular build. Now we do get another Hermit here. I passed on the first one, you know, because it was kind of early on in the run. I said it was like very powerful to get the 20 bucks. Here, I'll take it. You know, as sort of like make up for the fact that we don't have it, you know, too many value generators. Strength cards, kind of huge. Strength, I said I wanted to turn this 10 into a Jack. I can also turn these Jacks into Queens. If I do want to make my flush house, this can be the way that we make the flush house. Now we have money, we can buy the Celestial pack. I can finally pick up a Jupiter card here. I can, you know, between the rest of these, maybe full houses rather than 4 of a kind, because we already have leveled up full houses. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to pick up the Earth card first. I'm going to pick up the Jupiter card second. This is because there could be a Fool card, and the Fool will copy the last card that we used. And so if we find a Fool, what I want to do is I want to copy that Jupiter card instead of copying the Earth card. We do have money now we can re-roll, and so we do. All right, Greedy Joker is, you know, incompatible with what we're doing here. Now we've got too many spades. Early on, it's fine. Early on, it's fine to have both of these because you can do, like I said, you could play a straight that has like a mix of diamonds and spades. But this late in the game, I'm very much committed to spades. Do I want something like this Green Joker? So Green Joker, another one of these scaling jokers, just like we saw the red card earlier. I think it's a little bit easier to grow the Green Joker than it is to grow the red Joker or the red card early on. Later on, it becomes easier to grow the red card once you have more money for booster packs. The problem with it is you miss out on this opportunity cost of, if I'm skipping every booster pack, like that's bad. Like that's essentially the same as like skipping every shop, which is bad, and you're not finding, you know, the card enhancements that you want. You're not finding the planet cards that you want. And so Green Joker is good for a common. For a $4 common, it's good. It's not as good as a $5 common. It's not as good as Greedy Joker. It's not as good as Wrathful Joker. We're already at that point. We just demonstrated, you know, if I get up to like 40 mult with Smiley and Wrathful, then my steel cards give me plus 20. Another steel card gives me like plus 30 on top of that. And this would happen after all of that. This would be, you know, very little in comparison, even if we do scale it up. And that's kind of true about all of the scaling jokers, all of the plus mult scaling jokers. They're commons because they're weak. You know, you should have appropriate expectations there. Now, do I want to spend down to $28? I think not. I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to go next. So obviously, if we go down to $28, we still have money in the bank to make the maximum amount of interest. But if we re-roll, there could be something that I want to buy. In a future shop, I may want to buy more booster packs in the next shop. So save our money for the next shop. Okay, here I'm looking for spades. And then once we have some spades, we can decide what we want to do here. So we already have the queens here. I'm very close to making my flush house. I think I'm just going to go for the flush house. So let's drop the ace here. If I get a 5, I can turn it into a 6. If I get a 7, I can turn it into an 8. The 10, I said I wanted to turn it into a jack, but maybe I'm going to keep discarding it here. I could go for, if I draw the 4, that could be what we want. I'm going to discard the 6 here. So we end up getting the 9. I think that's good enough. So there is a consideration for, you know, do I want to play a hand as a way of discarding and dig for more cards to use the strength on? I don't think we need to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this 8 into a 9 here. Well, if we do that, if we do play the ace, then the seltzer is going to go away faster, and I don't want that to happen. Here I'm going to play the flush house. We have all the face cards for the smiley face. We have, you know, the steel card here. So already up to 70 mult, and then another times 1.5 on top of that is another plus 30 mult from just the one steel card. Okay, this is cool. So sock my buskin here. We can retrigger all of our face cards. This retriggers things like, you know, spades here from the Wrathful Joker, and then also smiley face here. So obviously very powerful, you know, perhaps a good replacement for a seltzer, retriggering any kind of card enhancements that we have. I think, you know, most of the time, sock my buskin is bad, just bad straight up. What it's going to do is it's going to re-trigger one of your jokers. That's it, just one of your jokers. In an average kind of run, most of the time it's just re-triggering one of your jokers. So having sock my buskin is just like having a second Wrathful Joker most of the time. But in this particular run, in this particular build, because we have both of these, smiley face and Wrathful, this one joker is doing both. And both of these are like commons, so it's not necessarily a very strong thing that this is copying both of these, but because it's able to do this with just one joker slot, that's very powerful. You know, we have a limited number of joker slots, so the more value we get out of each joker slot, of course, very good. Maybe then Banner as a source of chips is powerful on the red deck here with extra discards, but in the end game, we're going to be getting more planet cards. We're going to get more chips from our planet cards. And if we have more chips from our planet cards, the banner is going to be less good. And so kind of the way that I think about it is, let's say we don't use any discards, which is not true, but let's say we don't use any discards. Let's say banner gives us 100 chips, right? If banner's giving us 100 chips on top of, here's 50. Technically, we're not actually scoring 50. Technically, we have more like 70 or 80 chips, you know, because when you play cards, you get chips from the cards themselves. So let's say we have 70 chips. Banner 100 on top of 70. The difference between 70 and 170 is, you know, more than 2 times, right? It's more than plus 100%. But, you know, once I level this up and once I have like 150 for a flush, then the extra plus 100 from the banner is less than plus 100%. You know, it's maybe like an extra 70% on top of 150. Or if I play my flush house and it's worth 200 chips, then an extra 100 from the banner is only an extra plus 50%. It falls off really fast once you start picking up planet cards. So even though the banner is very strong right now, I think we can get rid of it and sock my buskin. We want celestial packs. Actually, we have money, so we just buy every booster pack. In general, this is what I suggest. One, try to save as much money as you can. If there's a good joker that shows up, of course you buy the joker, but save your money not buying booster packs until after you have $25 in the bank, and sometimes just like a little bit more than $25. Once you have the money in the bank, now you want to buy every Arcana pack that you see. Then if you have extra money, buy celestial packs and, you know, standard packs and those sort of things. Here we get Jupiter, which is great. So between the two of these, again here there's a possibility that a Fool card shows up in the future. So I'm going to use Temperance first, and I'm going to use Jupiter second. And then the Fool will copy the Jupiter card. Temperance is only worth 12 bucks, and I think the Jupiter card is worth more than 12 bucks. Like, if I see a Jupiter card in the shop, it only costs me $3 to buy it. But that doesn't mean that it's worth $3. It's worth more than that. Remember, it increases my score without using up a Joker slot. It's like that's premium, right? Every Celestial pack has a 1 in 3 chance of giving me a Jupiter card, and so it costs me about $12 worth of Celestial packs to get one Jupiter card, right? Now, do I want this standard pack? Since we have the money, the answer is yes. Before we re-roll, buy all the booster packs. Okay, so here's an interesting proposition. This 10, glass is good. Holographic is great. Red seal is really powerful with, you know, Smiley Face and Wrathful. We already have these re-triggering effects. This is not spades. Is it worth it even though it's not spades? Is it worth it to buy this even though it's not spades? It depends on where you are in your run. Am I at the point, am I generating and am I finding enough tarot cards where I can turn this into spades or not? And the answer is, yeah, I could turn this into spades. Also, I already have a 10 of spades, you know, so having an extra 10 that turns into spades, that seems like a good idea to me. Am I finding my hand easy enough? Am I finding my flushes easy enough? If I add this to the deck, it's going to make it harder for me to find my spades. Is that going to be a bad thing? Am I going to be able to survive that? I think with the extra discard and having, you know, now 19 spades in the deck, half of our deck, actually not half, you know, 40% of our deck are spades, we'll be fine if we take this. I don't think it's always true. I think you don't always take it. If it's like ante 6, maybe I don't have enough time to turn it into spades, then we don't take it. If I'm not playing on the red deck, if I, you know, don't have the extra discard, maybe we don't take it. If I don't have these effects that I actually want to re-trigger with this red seal, maybe I don't take it. Now, we have extra money, so we might as well re-roll here at least one time. We don't need the Swashbuckler. This is going to give us +4 or +12 after our steel cards, so that's bad. Glass card is great. That's something that I want. Do I want this? Do I want a Neptune card? Do I want to level up my straight flushes? How easy is it for me to play a straight flush? Like on the low end here, I've got 2 4s. On the high end, I have extra queens, but I only have the 1 ace, the 1 king, 1 10, 1 9, and the 10 is glass. So playing straight flush is not easy. Can I make straight flushes easier in the future? The answer is yes, but probably flush house is going to be easier, and it has the same scaling rate, so we'll just stick with the flush houses. Also, Smiley Face, you know, rewards us for playing more face cards. I can play a flush house that's all face cards, queens and jacks. I can't play a straight that's all face cards. Now, do I want to re-roll again, or we go down to $30, and then with $30, maybe we buy something? Maybe we don't buy anything? Pretty good chance we don't buy anything. Since I've got the boss coming up here, then after the boss there's going to be a new voucher. I'm going to save my money for the next shop. Okay, the boss says here extra large. We did unlock the flush house. That's our best hand, but I don't need a flush house. A flush should be good enough. So let's discard looking for a flush. And okay, so I already have a flush here. If I want, I can discard looking for a better flush. And so here's kind of like the thing that I was saying about the steel cards. Because this queen is steel, because this 4 is steel, these cards, I never discard these. I never discard this queen that's steel. So maybe I could do this now. If these were clubs, it would feel bad to have a steel card that's clubs, and it's like, oh, maybe I have to discard it in order to find my spades. Now I don't have to worry about it. So we do pick up the 9 here. And then we can keep both of these spade cards in hand. We do have extra discards here, so we might as well look for more. Do I want to... I could do this. I could discard a 6. I could discard a 9. I already have 5 spades in hand, but I know I can find more pretty easily. Let's discard just the 6. So now, I said I didn't need the flush house, but we do get the flush house. And I think we will play the flush house. Is there anything else that I want to discard for? I have some glass cards, maybe. Maybe I'll discard for face cards. Nah, okay. So, I have Hierophant, bonus cards. I have re-triggers on my face cards. So maybe what I want to do is these queens we can make into bonus cards. In general, even if I didn't have these re-triggers, having the bonus cards, the chips, to go with my plus mult from my spades, like that's a good combo there. Also then demonstrating, even if you don't get the planet cards giving you chips, then you can get chips from bonus cards. So one, demonstrating kind of the power of the card enhancements. Hierophant giving you plus chips, bonus cards, that's very powerful. Plus 30 is a lot for one card. Second, you know, when we had the banner giving us 100 chips or whatever it was, assuming we didn't use our discards, but we were using our discards, but you know, let's say the banner gives us 100 chips, then that's very weak in comparison to the extra chips that we're getting from these bonus cards. Now, do I want a glass card? Yeah. Do I need the glass card here? Do I need to make the glass 9 here? I think the answer is probably no. With Sock and Buskin and with Seltzer, probably we're fine without it. So maybe what I do is I can make a glass 4 and I can save it for the future. I can make a glass 3. I think I'd rather make a glass 4 because then, you know, in my end game, I can play the 4s together for the flush house. All right, let's play this flush house. Now, is it worth it? Do we get more for playing this flush house, or do we keep the steel card and just play a regular flush? Because the steel card is an extra 50%, right? So is this flush house worth 50% more than a flush? Like, just looking at this here, you've got, let's say, twice as many chips and slightly less than twice as much mult. So let's say 1.5 times as much mult. So twice as many chips, 1.5 times as much mult. That's 3 times as much. This flush is worth flush house is worth 3 times as much. But on top of that, we also have the extra chips here and the face cards being re-triggered. So, you know, we have the extra queen here. The extra queen is extra face card. So that also adds to the calculus here. Is this better? Is a glass card with the re-trigger from the Seltzer, is that better than playing the flush house? I think with the glass card, I think the glass card is better. I think this flush with the glass card is better than the flush house. You can calculate it yourself, but the flush house should be enough. Of course, here we got a very synergistic build to go with our Wrathful Joker. Alright, at this point, like, you know, if the question is like whether or not we're going to succeed, whether or not we're going to win, we've already answered that question. We've got it in the bag. You know, now we're just kind of exploring like what kinds of synergies are possible. Of course, Sock and Buskin, you know, very powerful, re-triggering our face cards so that we can trigger our Wrathful Joker some more. Seltzer. Chad is also great. And so with Chad being common, you can find it very consistently. You can find it very easily. It's not going to show up in every run, but it's going to show up a lot of the time. And so this could be the kind of thing that I'm looking for. Like, obviously I want the powerful uncommon, but maybe I don't find that very easily. Think about what kind of commons can I be looking for and how can I build around those commons if I do find them. And so Chad is great. Question is like, am I willing to give up anything in order to pick up Chad? Let's hold off on that. First, let's open these booster packs because of the hallucination here. We have the money, so we might as well. We could pick up Hermit here. We could use the wheel. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use the wheel. We get a foil Wrathful Joker. That's great. Foil to go with our, you know, chips to go with our mult. Now, Do we want the money, or is there something else that we want instead? I think for me personally, I highly value this. I highly value the card quality in my deck. You know, the deck manipulation, the deck building. Like the way that you lose is by not drawing your hand. If I, get to the end game and my flush is not powerful enough, the way that I win actually is by playing a flush house. And so using the hangman will make it easier for us to do that. So maybe what I want to do is remove these two, the 2 and the ace here. Okay, so that's done. Now the question is, would I rather have a strength card? I can make a jack into an extra queen. I can make a king into an extra ace. 7 into an extra 8. I guess it's mostly just the jack. Jack become a queen here. Or is it better to take the money? For me, I think it's better to take the money. If this were 10 bucks, I would use the strength card, but for 20 bucks, I think we take the hermit here. Hermit is going to allow us to, buy more booster packs and shop rerolls, and, maybe with the shop rerolls we find more tarot cards. What I want to do is I want to find a world card to make more spades, and the way that I find the world card is by rerolling the shop more, so give me the money to do that. Alright, do we want the Chad? Do we want this standard pack? I'm going to buy Hone first. So Hone makes it more likely we find holographic and polychrome cards, including in standard packs. Foil cards are very good. So it's not a face card, but it is a foil card. And we do have the Chad, could give us the retrigger on the 7s. Having extra 7 could make it so that we can make our flush houses. We could pick up an extra king here. I think blue seals are just in general very powerful. Blue seals are very powerful, straight up. And so maybe even though it's not spades, even though it's not this foil card that I might try to re-trigger here, maybe it's worth it to pick up the blue seal. I think it is worth it. And I think in general, so the thing to note about the standard packs, every card that's in a standard pack has a 1 in 5 chance of having a seal, 20% chance of having a seal. And they're all pretty good. Some are better than others, but they're all pretty good. Do I have, here's the seals. Yeah. So you got gold seal, in my opinion, is probably the worst, the one that gives you money, but it's not bad. Blue seal and red seal, purple seal, these 3 are competing for which one's the best, and it is a close competition. It is contextual. It depends on what you're trying to do. I think if I'm going for flushes here in this position, I would prefer to get a purple seal. Purple seal for the tarot card generation, the deck manipulation. I think if you're going for straights, obviously getting the extra planet cards from the blue seal is best. If I am going for flush houses, maybe the blue seal is pretty good for flush houses. Red seal is strong. Of course, you make glass cards that you can re-trigger. Of course, strong with Wrathful Joker, but the amount of extra benefit that you get from the Wrathful Joker, the extra +3 here, is not really good enough for you to justify like taking this. It's better to probably just make more spades by getting the tarot cards from the purple seal. Here I am going to pick up the purple seal. Like I said, leveling up my flush house could be very powerful. Also, if I have these steel cards, if I have these glass cards, these get better when the base is higher. And so having the blue cards, having the blue seals will help us turn up the base. All right, I think I'm going to skip the rest of these. Even though these are spades, even though this king is a face card here, these do not contribute to the flush house that I'm trying to make. The flush house is queens and maybe jacks, maybe 4s, maybe 9s. Skip all of these. All right, it comes back to the Chad. Do we want to pick up the Giga Chad here? If we do, what are we willing to get rid of? I think in this position, I think Wrathful Joker is the weakest link, actually. So it's not as strong as Smiley Face. Smiley Face giving us +5 instead of +4. Or sorry, instead of +3. Also, with just like general re-triggers are going to be good with glass cards, for example. We get the extra chips here. Yeah, I think this is the point where you sell the Wrathful Joker. Pick up Chad. Even though these are synergistic with each other, I think the other stuff that we have going on is more important. I think having the hallucination for the deck manipulation is more important than the Wrathful Joker. But if we want to stick with the Wrathful Joker, if we want to maximize the Wrathful Joker, then we drop the smiley face here. Even though we lose the value from Sock My Buskin here. I'm keeping the hallucination for the extra tarot cards. So we lose a little bit of scoring here, but like I said, we don't have to score the most amount of points right now. We just have to score enough points. I'm keeping the hallucination so that I can get tarot cards to make my flush houses more easily, more consistently. We have money for re-rolling, so we'll re-roll once. I could think about replacing hallucination with to-do lists. Like playing pairs, $4 each pair is like pretty good. This is gonna, the way that the new to-do list works in version 101F, this is gonna be pairs for the entire round. So I can play 3 pairs, I could get 12 bucks. That's probably worth more than the hallucination. But it is going to hurt my seltzer here to play lots of hands. I think we don't need to be doing this. Do we want to re-roll down to 30 bucks here? So something to consider also, when you are re-rolling, every time you re-roll it costs more money, right? So if I re-roll separately one time in 2 different shops, $5 and another $5. If I re-roll twice here, it's $5 and $6. So I'm actually going to save my money and re-roll in the next shop instead of re-rolling again here. We already have the jokers that we need, so we'll just go next. With this strength card, so first thing we're doing is we're discarding looking for spades, obviously. Second thing that we're doing is figuring out what do I want to do with this strength card. I said I want to try to turn this 10 into a jack, and like currently I can do that. I could turn the 10 into a jack. What do I want to do? I think we discard the 4 here. I think we turn the 3 into a 4. Turn the 3 into a 4 for our flush house that way. Turn the 10 into a jack. Yeah. And I'm going to discard the jack, the glass jack, because I don't want it to break. But I'm going to keep the 4. Let's look for our queens. All right, one more time looking for queens. We have queen. We have 3 4s in the deck. Well, we have 1 4 left over, 3 4s total. We have 4 more queens of spades. I no longer have the smiley face, so I don't really care about this king anymore. Do we care about these 9s? We don't need to play the flush house, we could just play the flush. Let's I'm going to discard one of these 9s. Okay, we ended up not getting our spades. That's weird. I mean, we did throw away a lot of spades, but we didn't get any of the queens. It's kind of disappointing. Unfortunate. Yeah, maybe here's something to point out. So, okay, we get the blue seal here, and so maybe it's worth it to try to go for the flush house. Actually, I'm going to do that. Cool. So we do have the flush house now, and then we can get the blue seal value here. So maybe here's like a consideration. We said Wrathful Joker, what's nice about it is you get all the +3s, and then, you know, I can put the glass card wherever I want, and so maybe I could do the glass card after, right? I get all these +3s, I get the Retrigger to Saga Busket and Seltzer, and I get the glass card after. With the Chad here, Trad is going to retrigger the first card, and so you have an incentive to like, oh, if I put the glass first, then this is going to retrigger a bunch of times, and then after this retriggers a bunch of times, then all of these +3s are going to happen after, and like that feels bad. Because like glass card by itself, that's ×2. Chad is 2 more ×2s on top of that. So ×8 total. So 14 times 8, you know, we go up to like 100. And then once we add 100, then however many +3s feels like really bad compared to, you know, however many +3s, you know, maybe it takes us up to like 30 or something like that. And then we have the glass card happens after. And so this is kind of the thing with the Wrathful Joker. This is where it starts to fall off. It starts to fall off when you have multiple glass cards, which is not a common scenario, but it is for me a common enough scenario where if I have, let's say, 3 glass cards, really it's only the first couple activations here. And then, you know, once you start getting the planet cards, once I start leveling this up, you know, level 3 flushes, that's only 2 planet cards. Level 4 full houses, you know, ×10 here, that's 3 planet cards. Each series planet card is another +4 here. Once you start leveling up your planets, then like this extra +3 falls off. Doesn't matter as much anymore. So, you know, here Wrathful Joker remains the weakest link and remains probably irrelevant for the rest of the run. Also, I believe glass happens first, and then +3 from Wrathful Joker happens second. So if like for the 1 card, I believe the enhancement happens first, which makes it even worse. Alright, but we do get the series card. We now have the leveled up flush house. Ooh, this is incredible. Incredibly powerful. We also get the Hierophant here, so we can retrigger. So let's do that. So first, we have the money. Let's open the standard packs. Maybe we get a tarot card, maybe we don't. Gold Seal is great with Chad. It's great with Sock My Buskin. It's great with Seltzer. But it's going to make it harder for us to get, you know, we already there. We had a little bit of difficulty getting our flush house. And then, you know, difficulty finding our blue seal. So adding more cards to the deck, I think that's something that I don't want to be doing. I still want to see. I still want to look inside the standard packs. There are some things that I would be willing to take. Like a Polychrome card is very powerful. This 8, I can use strength and I can turn it into a 9. Would I rather have a Polychrome card or another red seal? We do have the 1 red seal. We said if we get a world card, but we haven't seen a world card in the past, you know, 10 rounds or whatever. I think I do take this. I think the Polychrome with the bonus card, and it's almost a 9, that's very powerful. That's good enough. Also now I have a trading card. So we said Wrathful Joker is the weakest link here. If we want to keep it until the end, I have to decide, do I get rid of Seltzer or do I get rid of Hallucination? Seltzer only has 2 more rounds left. I think because I have Chad, I don't need Seltzer anymore. So let's pick up the trading card. And I think we keep the strength for turning the 8 into a 9 instead of picking up the Hierophant here. Of course, Hierophant bonus cards are good with these re-triggers, but we're just going to go next. All right, trading card, we can delete a 5. Before I delete the 5, I'm going to use the Hangman. And so what do I want to remove? 9s I can turn into spades, 8s I can turn into 9s and turn into spades. 3s are less useful to me, 5s are less useful to me. So aces and 3s. If I use the Hangman here, now when I discard with the trading card, by using the Hangman first, I get to redraw 3 cards instead of just redrawing 1 card at a time. Okay, so I already have the queens, I already have the 9s here, I already have the flush house if I want. So I could keep the jacks here. They do get the retrigger from Sock My Buskin here, but you know, maybe I have the 9s for the bonus cards. Maybe what I want to do is use the strength to turn these jacks into queens, And then that way it's easier for me to find my queens in the future. What's the boss situation? Boss says my spades are debuffed. Aha! So here we've reached the limitations of the Wrathful. I mean, we've already reached the limitations of the Wrathful Joker. But now, if the thing that I want to try to do is score with, you know, all these steel cards and all these glass cards, these enhanced cards, this boss says maybe not. I think we can still get there with just a higher level flush house, but we do need to level it up. We do need a little bit of work here. If we do, you know, 200 times 20, that's only 4,000 points compared to 22,000 that I need. So is there some other kind of hand that I can play other than my flush house? I could play a full house. No. Is there another flush house that I could play with a different suit here? So maybe I can use my 10 here. Maybe I can make a flush with diamonds. That'll work. We'll have to figure something out, but I think we can get there. I think we can do it. Maybe we should have checked the boss earlier. This is the current round. We only have one shop left to figure this out. I think we'll be fine. So what am I doing with this strength card again? I said I want to try to zap this 8 into a 9. That would be very powerful. Turning jacks into queens could be helpful for consistency. I'm going to look for the 8. And I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, give me the 8. We've got 38 cards in the deck. 38 is kind of a lot of cards. I'll go ahead and just do the jacks. Alright, we play the queens. And we play the 9s here. I'm going to put this 9 in front so we get the retrigger from the Giga Chad here. Okay, let's go. I want to go Celestial first. If we get a tarot card from the hallucination, then I can use the tarot card in the Arcana pack. We could level up our straight flushes. We could level up our 4 of a kind or full houses. What kind of 4 of a kind do we have? We have a 4 of a kind 10s. We could play a full house with... No, that 8's not going to work. Yeah. Let's go 4 of a kind. Full house is easier. Let's play full house. Okay. Then this Arcana pack. Actually, I want to re-roll first. Again, here, what I'm looking for is if I get a tarot card, I can use it in the Arcana pack. Though maybe what I want to do is I want to pick up the Devil. And then open the Arcana pack. Alright, Temperance gives us 13 bucks. Could make some steel cards, could make some bonus cards. I think I want to try to make the full house that has the 10s in it. So that I can get this glass 10 here. And if that's the case, maybe I want to use Hierophant on a 10 here. Maybe I want to use a 10 and a king. Yeah, or of course, you know, we can pick up 13 here from Temperance. I'm going to make the bonus cards. We could also play the flush. Alright, what's next? Photograph. Photograph gives us another ×2. Also a very good combo with Chad here. Yeah, maybe we do Photograph. So probably we get rid of Wrathful Joker, but I'm going to get rid of Hallucination instead, so we can pick up the Photograph here. Okay, so I don't have to use this right away. What I want to look for are kings and 10s or diamonds. So what I don't know is if I use the 1 discard for the trading card, am I going to have enough discards left over in order for me to find my 10? So what we can do is instead of doing this. We could just play a hand here. We can just play a flush. It's not going to be worth any points. Yeah, that's okay. We have the 4s here, so maybe I'll play this. Again, it's not worth any points. We do get the 10s. So we have the 10s here. We could go for 10s and 4s. We could go for, I wanted to go for the king because I've got, you know, the bonus king here. So maybe I'm still going for kings. Okay, with 28 cards left in the deck, I think I am going to do the, we'll do the full discard here, rather than discard with the trading card. Alright, let's sort by rank. So I have 3 10s here. I'm looking for my bonus king. So let's get rid of these. Jack we can get rid of. Queen we can get rid of. All I gotta do is find that king. We do have the 4 of a kind now. I'm gonna go for the full house still. Okay, so kings and 10s. That's gonna be the full house. What do I want to make into gold? I think what I want to make into gold, I think I want to make this queen into gold. And I think like short term, I'm not going to get any money from it, but long term, I would rather have a queen gold rather than like one of these, you know, 10s that I end up discarding. All right, I want to, so I already have the glass card here and the holographic card. So for the purposes of Chad, I think we want the red seal in the front here. And then that's it. Is there anything that I want to discard for? I guess I still have the fancier king in the deck. Maybe we discard for the fancier king. One more discard. If not, there's the 10. And so there, you know, 400,000 points. Demonstrating, you know, the power of, I mean, for one, Chad, also the power of photograph, also the power of just the glass cards. Glass cards are very, very important, very, very powerful. They can get you out of some tough situations. And now, by the way, if you didn't already know this, there are no repeat bosses in the first 8 antes, right? And so if we just had the boss that debuffs our spades, won't have to deal with that in the future. This boss discards random cards. This can be tricky if the thing that you need to do is you need to play a specific hand and it's difficult for you to draw that hand, then you know, use all your discards. If you don't find the hand, then now you're cooked. It's going to be hard for you to, you know, complete the hand if random cards are being removed, if random cards are being discarded. But I think with the red deck having the extra discards will be fine. And also we could pick up the Wasteful voucher here for an extra discard. I definitely want this series card. We don't have hallucination anymore, and so I don't need to open every booster pack, but I think we still open celestial packs. So 5 planets, we have a 50% chance of getting series. Series is especially potent. So series for me right now is worth about 15 bucks worth of value. And so if I could get series card for just 6 bucks there, incredible. Let's go next. Garbage tag. We're just going to play it out. Now we're looking for, you know, again, we want to get more trading card value with our extra discard here. I'm looking for this blue seal. So I guess we'll, it'd be nice if I could turn these kings into spades, but like I want to turn this queen into spades first. I want to turn this 10 into spades first. So maybe we just get rid of the kings. Okay, I don't need this many queens. I could discard one. Let's try to make that flush house. We keep the 4 because we have extra 4s in the deck. There we go. Now, I have 4 hands. I can play 4 cards at a time, which means if I play 3 hands times 4, that's 12. I have 12. I could get my gold card. I could get my blue seal card. I think it's worth it to use the extra hands. We spend a few dollars on a few extra hands, but there's a lot of good stuff that we can hit. Like I said, a series card is worth 15 bucks to me. Oh, unfortunately, that's just too many points. The final round, we only need 100,000 to beat the boss, so you know the rest of this is like kind of academic. Let's try the special pack. We get a purple seal. We could get Ouija here. So you know if the thing that you want to do is make flush houses, you know having everything the same rank, that could help. But I think the purple seal is going to be better for us. I'm going to make a purple seal queen. Now that I have enough queens in the deck, I don't feel bad about discarding them. So with the purple seals, you know, if I get a death card, I'm trying to copy. What do I want to copy with my death card? I want to copy this. So I put mark the queen with the purple seal. I guess we could pick up a gold card here. I'm not going to open the standard pack. So I already have a red seal, I have a purple seal, I have a blue seal. That's mostly when I'm opening standard packs, I'm looking for seals. Every individual card has a 20% chance to have a seal, so if you open 3 cards, each one, you know, you have a better than 50% chance of finding at least 1 seal. So take those standard packs early-ish. Alright, I want to delete a 5, I guess. You know, anything that's not spades already. I can discard a queen to get another tarot card. You can spin the wheel. Okay, this jack, we already demonstrated we don't even need a flush house. We don't even need a flush. I'm only going for the flush house so that I can try to get the planet card from the blue seal. Otherwise, I don't really care. So there's the blue seal. I just need a 4. I'm going to try again. I'm going to take the opportunity to make it a blue gold card for the money. If I play the queen here, high card should be fine. Should be fine in the sense of it's not going to score too many points. Almost too much. Almost too much. Now if I play the king, it'll definitely be too much. So I guess I'll play the 4 of a kind. You know, if I have to choose what planet card I'm going to get, might as well get the 4 of a kind. Use the Mars card here. We could go to the moon. We could go clown. You know, these things giving us money. We currently have the scoring technology that we want. Standard pack. We could get a glass jack. So jack is a face card, you know, for Sock My Buskin here. It's also a glass card. Like, that's pretty good. That's pretty dang good. I don't think we need it. I think we have enough technology. We have enough going on. I just want to remove cards from the deck and then clean up the rest of the good stuff that we have. We don't need this jack. This is particularly powerful. This is kind of like on the edge here. Maybe that's like a reason. Maybe we shouldn't open standard packs anymore because like the bar for what we would actually add to the deck is like pretty high now. Alright, Fool gives us another Mars card. Disappointing. We didn't get the series card from the blue seal. We can use the Emperor. Or do we want to make, you know, enhanced queen? I want the Emperor. I want random tarot cards. I want a second world card, finally. Or a death card also works. We use strength, finally, on our 8. We're going to save our money for the next shop. We could roll down to $27. We're not going to lose any interest here, but I want to save my money for, you know, the next shop booster packs. All right, let's start by deleting a 7. Here's, just like I said, what is the card that I want to copy with a death card? I want to copy a queen, so let's put the purple seal on a queen instead of purple seal on something else. I can make a purple queen here. I can discard both. I do want to use this strength card, so let's do that first. I can hit the 8 here. I think this 10 wants to become a jack. I can discard. Now I have the 9 and I have the queens here. So I have the winning hand. Now give me the blue seal. Strength card again. Okay. So tower I don't think we need to do. If we do make a stone card, then there's the stone joker. You can't get the stone joker until you have a stone card in your deck. So if you just never add a stone card in your deck, the stone joker will never show up. Do I want to... I want to get... If I get a 3, I could turn it into a 4, even though it's not spades. I can turn this 10 into a jack, even though it's not spades. Maybe we could be thinking about those kinds of moves. 8s I can turn into 9s. I guess I'll just go ahead and do it here. So, do I care about 5s and 6s? Maybe I'll turn a 6 into a 7. All right, show me. And then here, once again, here with the queens, demonstrating these are, if I turn a queen into steel, if I turn a queen into gold, I never discard those. I don't always need to play them, I just never discard them. Do I want here polychrome with the Chad? No, I probably want the queen here with the photograph. Wrathful Joker is doing nothing because the queen is going to be processed first. What I can do is, I could move the queens like further back here, but Chad is going to do this first, polychrome. So maybe we do it like this. No, my blue seal, you jerk. $400,000 points. Yeah, by the way, if we're playing on the highest stake, if we're playing the highest difficulty, the gold stake, you need 400,000 to beat the final boss. If you're playing on the middle stakes, green and higher, you need 200,000 to beat the final boss. All right, we take a clearance sale here. Buffoon pack. Dusk as another re-triggering effect is pretty good. Am I willing to get rid of anything here? Not Wrathful Joker. We're trying to hold on to the Wrathful Joker. I think I really like the trading card as well. Photograph with Chad is like such a powerful combo. I think we actually pass on Dusk here. I think in general, the problem with Dusk is if you're using all of your hands every round, you're losing a lot of money to do that. And so most of the time, Dusk is just bad. Situations where it can be good are situations where you have cards that give you money when you play them. And so if we go to like seals here, gold seal gives you money, lucky cards give you money. If those are the things that you're re-triggering with your Dusk, then it's worth it. If you're struggling to survive, then it's worth it. Standard packs we said we don't need. I guess like jokers we don't really need either. I'm looking for tarot cards. That's not tarot cards. Let's go next. Alright, boss says play only one hand type. We could delete an ace here. Discard all of our non-spades. We could discard the jack. Discard the glass card. Discard the purple card. Lovers. Oh, so I can make a wild 4 if we need to. I can make a wild 9 if I need to. Between the two of those, I guess because I have the polychrome 9, I'd rather have a 9 than a 4. Is that true? I guess the 9, I want to turn the 9 into a jack. Like that would be pretty great. Let's make a wild 4 here. Anyway, I want my blue seal, so I'm going to discard the glass card here. Maybe I don't need to discard the glass card. If I play the glass card has a chance of breaking, and that's actually for me good right now. Where's my blue seal? If I play the 1 queen, that's gonna be fine. I think we determined that was fine. I do have 2 steel cards in hand, maybe it's not fine. Ooh, close. I didn't get the blue seal, so I guess I do play the queens and the 4s. I'm trying to break the glass card. I'm trying to remove the glass card. I could put the bonus card in front with the Chad here, but it doesn't matter. Alright, Supernova, Celestial Packs. Let's buy Celestial Packs. For series, Celestial Pack again. Yeah, Supernova we said. If I had played only flushes, this would be 13 flushes. Maybe 15 flushes for the Supernova. We said Supernova's not good. Yeah, it's a little bit too late for the banana here. I do suggest the banana most of the time, but now it's a little bit too late for that. And this is true about, you know, all of these plus molt generators. We just got so much molt on our enhancements, our card enhancements, that all of this stuff becomes irrelevant. Or not just irrelevant, but becomes obsolete. Alright, before I open the Celestial Pack, I'm actually going to reroll first. Bootstraps, more plus molt that we don't need. If I reroll, I go down to 33. Okay, I'm going to open the Celestial Pack next. This stuff doesn't really matter, so maybe I will take the 4 of a kind. So now I'm at the stage where if I only have 43 cards in the deck, I can consistently hit 4 of a kind if I want to. That's better than my flushes. Let's go next. Alright, more card removal. I could think about removing a 4. I'm going to remove a 7. We do have the blue seal in the opener here. So I have 4 4s now that I have the wild 4. So let's go for 4s. We get the purple seal here. Hierophant. Maybe. I have 2 4s, so let's go for queens. I have the 9s. Let's keep the 4s because I want to try to break the 4. This pair of 9s, I'm actually gonna play it. That way I can save a discard in case I get a purple seal. You know, there's only 18 cards left in the deck. We didn't hit it, but that's okay. I want to keep these 3 queens, that way I still have the gold queen. Hierophant. Okay, so queen here I can enhance, and I guess I'll just do an 8 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move the queen out front for the Giga Chad. Series card. We use the series card before we go into the shop because if there's a duplicate series card in the shop, it'll, you know, get replaced. About 1 in 80 chance of that happening. 1 in 80 chance of you finding a duplicate series card. We can make an extra gold card. We don't really need to do, but we could. It only costs us $2 to do that. Buffoon pack. There's not a whole lot that we could want here. We could take Scary Face, extra chips. I think. Yeah, so if I had this question of like, what's better, Wrathful Joker or Scary Face? The problem with the Wrathful Joker is the order of operations, right? We have all these ×2s that happen before any of the +3s. Like, that feels really bad. But even with all the ×2s, even with all the Molt jumps up, these chips, that doesn't matter the order of operations. It doesn't matter if you get the chips before or after. Chips are chips, basically. And so here is a situation where, you know, Todd is better than Steven, and Scary Face is better than Smiley Face. Both of these are better than Wrathful Joker here, and like in general. But I don't think I'm going to take this. I think I'm going to stick with the trading card. Trading card for consistency. You know, if I can use the trading card to make it so that I always get my flush house, I always get my blue seal, I always get my glass cards, then, you know, the blue seals are going to give me more chips than the Scary Face is going to give me. You know, we already have level 6 flush houses. Let's try a Spectral Pack. Alright, so we could get a red seal. We could use Cryptid here. We could use Aura. We could get an extra Joker slot. I think probably the most powerful thing to do is make this glass into red glass, probably. Aura has a 1 in 6 chance of giving us polychrome, so the expected value is pretty low. Like, either way, any kind of enhancements that you get, extra chips or extra Molt here, are going to be re-triggered with these. About 50% of the time you're going to get the chips, the foil, and the foil is very good. But I think, you know, the extra red seal, the extra 2 times, probably best. There is this question of, do we use Cryptid and we just make a bunch of glass jacks? I think there, probably I'd rather have the 1 super jack rather than having a bunch of extra jacks. Because I want to get my polychrome cards, and I already have a red seal jack. I will make a gold 9 here. We could think about, you know, we hold on to the gold card and we use it in the next round. Maybe I make a gold 4, since I'm holding on to my 4s most of the time. Though now I just realized our glass 4 is gone, and so maybe we stop doing that. Anyway, I could make a red gold card. That's also very powerful. Let's make a red glass card rather than getting the -1 hand size. Reroll. Lustinous Joker. Reroll, not again. Cool. Okay, let's delete a 4. So we don't get to play repeat hand, or we only get to play 1 hand type. So in an emergency situation, we play a flush. But we do have the queens and 9s here. All we gotta do is get a queen. I could discard like this, and then that way hold on to the gold card. We don't need the jack. I could throw away 1 queen, probably. Probably it's safe enough, but, you know, why take the risk? I have an extra gold card here. I can make an extra gold queen. We don't need the steel. And we can get all the gold cards here, all the money. Alright, Overstock is great. Lovers for a wild card. Probably we don't need that anymore. Let's try a Buffoon pack. We are in ante 8 now, so we have a limited amount of time left on our trading card here. You know, maybe we swap it out for something that scores more. I don't think any of this is useful to us. You know, straights and 8s and plus Molt. We skip all those. Wily Joker, plus 100 chips if we play a flush house, of course. But our flush house is currently already 340 chips plus any chips from our cards re-triggering. So let's say 400 chips. So this Wily Joker is plus 25%. So the same as a times 1.25 is quite useless. I mean, it does more than Wrathful Joker does, but still. All right, before I open this Arcana pack, I'm gonna reroll for more tarot cards. What I can do, if I want, I can buy these and hold on to them. And then that way, when I reroll here, there's not gonna be duplicate tarot cards. Too late for Midas Mask and Zany Joker. Reroll one more time. We could pick up a Neptune card. We could pick up Todd, is pretty good with the Chad. And then, you know, we've got these 9s here. I think I'm gonna not take Todd. I think I'm going to open the Arcana pack now. Still blocking the duplicates here. Now, do we want Fool for a gold card, or Hangman is great. So I can remove, you know, maybe these 2 8s here. I don't care super much what cards that I'm removing anymore. As long as I just remove the non-spades, you know. Let's go next. So the boss is the purple one. We do need 300,000 points. We already know that we have enough. Let's see how much we can get. So if we delete the 3 here for the trading card. I do have the lovers. Do I want to make a 9? Maybe. Maybe we do that. We could hold on to it. Do I have any other 9s? I do have the 9 of clubs. Let's start by discarding like this. Yeah, we do get the 9 of clubs here. Do I have a preference between clubs and diamonds? Not really. There's a 9 of spades. So I don't need this 9 of clubs anymore. I know that I have queens that I can discard for. I'm gonna go ahead and I have 18 cards left in the deck. I have 2 purple seals. I'm gonna go ahead and play this high card because I know it's not gonna win. Okay, so Jack we discard. Queens we discard. This is a pair of queens. That's gonna be too many points. 4 more queens left in the deck. Okay, I have 1 more 9. And I have 3 more queens, so we get the purple seal here. Chariot, nice. So now, I'm gonna make this queen into steel. I'm gonna play the flush house, that way we get the series card. Oh, by the way, you know, for these types of things here, you know, with Photograph and Wrathful Joker, these both trigger on the card being scored. This order does matter. And so if I do this, I get the ×2 first. If I do this, I get the +3 first, then the ×2. But glass happens before both of those, I believe. Cool. So trading card has been very good to us, though, you know, we only have 1 more round left to use it. Maybe what we want to do is take the extra hand size here. Sad. Sad to see our boy go out like that. We could pick up a Jupiter card here, except we're not going to play a flush anyway, so if I skip, if this Arcana pack has a Fool, I can copy the series card that I just used. I can re-roll here in case there's more tarot cards that I want to use. Or even if I don't use the tarot cards, now when I open this Arcana pack, it's going to block these duplicates. Maybe what we'll do is we'll hold on to the tarot cards. I can still probably find better in the shop, like this Justice card. And then now open the Arcana pack. We have Death also. Okay, so if you wanted to do something spicy here, we can make a Poly Glass 9, and then we can copy it with a Death card rather than pick up the 20 bucks here. Like, that's pretty spicy. We don't have to play it, but we can. We can go next. I think the 9s, we discard them and we draw the 4s, because I don't want to break my 9s. I still want a world card. Is that too much to ask? Don't answer that. Alright. Show me the 4s. I guess I do have the 2 9s, so I'll play the 2 9s. Let's discard. Temperance gives us $8, I guess. Okay. I've got the jack here. I do have the 4s. I'll discard the 4s. I guess I'll discard the 9s because I have the 4 in the deck. 7 cards left. Nice. So 4s and queens. And then we get the blue seal here. We get the series card and all the money. Series. Hangman is great. I'm gonna go ahead and open this Arcana pack, I believe. That way I can use my Hangman. Pick up $20 as well. Let's remove the 7s and pick up $20 here. So now 35 cards left in the deck. Pretty easy for us to find exactly what we're looking for. I think I'll buy this Jupiter card just to hold on to it. Let's sell Judgment and pick up a Neptune card, holding on to it. We could get a Steel Joker for times 1.8. So would I rather have the extra hand size or the extra times 2 here? Extra hand size does allow us to get the extra Steel card, you know? Steel Joker is slightly better here, but only just slightly. Alright, we've got Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune. If I open the Celestial pack, I will get some different set of planets. Maybe I'll go Priestess first. So, Jupiter and Neptune we can sell. Priestess we'll use. Okay, show me 3 different planet cards. Ceres is the one that I want. And then now as long as I hold on to these, there won't be these in the shop. Blueprint here. That's gonna be great. Alright, so Blueprint, you know, we can combo it with, we can sock my Buskin here. Maybe what I want to try to do is play these jacks and get the retrigger on the glass jacks, get the retrigger on the photograph here. Maybe we copy the photograph because we have all of the retriggers from Sock My Buskin and also Hanging Chad here already. Alright, we don't need plutonium. Reroll one more time. Struck out. Alright, go next. Alright, so what I'm looking for my queens and my poly 9s, and that's it. So I don't need this blue seal, I don't need this king here. We could throw all those away. We could throw away the purple seal here and try to pick up a glass card or a death card. Let's give that a try. Strength card. Oh, so a strength, I can turn this jack into a queen. That would be ideal. Let's try that. Here's 2 pair. Okay, so we do have the jack. Do I want to discard first? Yeah, let's discard first. Moon, okay, moon we don't need. All right, so let's go jacks into queens here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my whole deck. I have another 2 in there, but this is basically the whole deck. So if I go queens and 9s, then I don't need these. Alright, so here with Wrathful Joker, if we want to optimize this, we want to have the +3s on the left here. So 46 +3 and then another +3. And then after all of that, we'll do the glass cards. And then so you can see there with the glass card ×2 before the +3. Alright folks, that's going to take us to the end of, this is the first episode of, I'm calling this new series. This is the Joker I like best, and today the Joker I like best, Wrathful Joker, because it's the purple one. It's the nice looking one, you know, of all of the page 1 Jokers. Take care everyone.